Since 2018, Ather has stood for performance, Ather has stood for premium, but Ather hasn't exactly stood for mass appeal. The 450 series has always been the choice for enthusiasts, but can Ather really make a scooter that can appeal to the average Indian scooter buyer? The Rista is that answer, is what Ather claims, but we are here in Bangalore to ride it for the very first time and find out just how close Ather has been able to get to the heart of India's scooter market. I'm Amaan Ahmed and I'm going to tell you everything about the Rista and how it performs out on the road in our first ride video. So make sure you subscribe to Carandbike so you keep getting all the updates, all the reviews on time, and also remember to hit the bell icon so you're notified every time we upload a new video. Now, let's get on the Rista and see what it's all about.
While Ather's innings began with the svelte and purposeful 450, the Rista, which has been in the making for more than 2 years, is Ather's idea of what an electric scooter for the average Indian family should be like.
It may not be as compact and edgy looking as the 450 series, but the Rista shows that a family scooter need not look boring and drab.
It may not have been a bad idea to draw inspiration, but the Rista doesn't look like a larger 450X, and that's a good thing. The horizontal headlight cluster, while conventional, has interesting depth thanks to the frosted effect DRLs. It does look a little bulky in profile, but the wraparound taillight lends it a touch of modernity, and the contrast white patch on the side panel is also a cool touch. The dual tone paint schemes are eye-catching, and to my eyes, the Rista looks a lot cooler than the TVS iQube, Bajaj Chetak and the Ola S1 Air. And it's a familiar feeling when you get on the Rista as well.
Swing a leg over the Rista and it's a familiar and comfortable space to be. The dash itself is something we've seen before on the 450 series. The switches are the same, the grips feel fairly high quality, but it does feel a step down from something like the Chetak Premium, which is really beautifully put together. As for comfort, well, the seat height is 780 millimeters. So as you can see, I'm pretty comfortable. I'm 5'6". I can get both my feet down fairly comfortably. The footboard is spacious, and the seat, of course, the seat is something we have to talk about with the Rista because Ather tells us that this is the longest seat in its segment. So of course, it's got a lot of room, so you can slide back if you want to, and it'll be a really comfortable riding position. If you have a pillion and they have some luggage with them, even that will be able to be accommodated pretty comfortably. And even the pillion backrest is a useful addition. However, you should remember that the base Rista does not get this. Otherwise, in terms of practicality, you've got the 34-litre underseat storage space. There are a couple of bag hooks, but I do wish the base of the underseat storage space was flat, because right now it's not, and that sort of limits its practicality.
From a features perspective, the Rista gets something previously seen on only the 450 Apex, Magic Twist, which enables riders to come to a full stop by merely applying negative throttle input. Also part of the package is skid control, which Ather promises will prevent the rear wheel from slipping on low traction surfaces. However, there is a strange omission.
One of the things that's missing from the Rista, and it's really puzzling to me, is the availability of a touchscreen even on the top spec model. You see, this is the same 7-inch TFT screen that you get on the 450X, but on the 450X it is touch operated, and I felt it was one of the defining features of that scooter. It really added to the riding experience, and Ather has curiously chosen to drop the touch functionality of the screen. So now you can control it using the joystick and the other switches, but it does feel like you're going through a few too many layers to get to the exact option you want, and the touch functionality is certainly missed. Ather tells us that they can add that functionality back in if needed, but I'm not so sure if this will be taken kindly by customers, especially considering the fact that there are scooters which do offer a touchscreen for the same price or even less.
But that's something that could possibly be overlooked if the Rista can live up to Ather's standards for performance and on-road behavior. Featuring a similar motor setup to the 450 series, the Rista retains the part aluminium construction as well, which helps keep its weight to 119 kilos, but it has a larger tubular rear subframe. It doesn't take long to notice that the Rista is a proper Ather, but not necessarily in all the ways we've come to expect.
From a performance point of view, the Rista is more or less what I expected it to be. You see, this is after all a family scooter, so outright performance has been dialed down compared to the Ather 450X. Peak output on this is 4.3 kilowatt, and yes, it is much lower. Even when you ride it, you can feel the difference. That being said, this is still a reasonably peppy scooter. I had a chance to take it up Nandi Hills, and that is where its Ather DNA came to the fore. You see, this scooter can handle itself pretty well. It's got great grip in the corners. It feels confident even at higher speeds. That being said, it does feel like it is lacking power, and you can't help but get the feeling that this scooter is reminding you that it is an Ather, but that you are a family man if you bought this one. As standard, this scooter comes with just a single ride mode, which is Zip. If you opt for the Pro Pack, you also get the Smart Eco ride mode, which promises higher range for some reduced performance. That I feel is a trade-off that's not worth making, because Smart Eco on multiple occasions when I was riding today tried to bring my speed down even when I was trying to accelerate, and I found that to be a little bit risky. And on the whole, the difference in range doesn't seem to be that high, so it just feels better to leave the Rista in Zip mode. With the Rista, you've got two battery options. One is a 2.9 kilowatt hour unit and the other is a 3.7 kilowatt hour unit. The one we have here is the 2.9, and this is the one that Ather thinks will be the sweet spot in the range. Now, speaking of range, it does seem to be a little limited on the 2.9, as I have just seen on my first ride.
During my ride, I managed to drain the Rista's 2.9 kWh battery from 78% to 6% state of charge. Despite having stayed in Smart Eco mode for the majority of the ride and having switched to Zip mode for the ascent to Nandi Hills, I could manage just under 50 kilometers using up about 72% charge. Ather says the Rista in Zip mode should manage 85 kilometers in real world use, but I think it'll take switching to Smart Eco more often to see that figure regularly. As for chargers, Ather will bundle a 350 watt charger for the 2.9 kWh models and a 700 watt duo charger for the 3.7 kWh model.
There's quite a lot to like about the Ather Rizta, and that doesn't come as a surprise because we saw it at the launch and we knew that it had its strengths. This big seat means that two-up riding will be comfortable in the city. This is typically Ather, so it feels well put together. Performance is acceptable, but there are also some flaws. I really do not like the screen that has been used, partially because it doesn't have the touch functionality, and partially because it is too slow and laggy, and I cannot believe that something like this has come from Ather, a company that has made fantastic touchscreens for the 450 series. There's also another thing to consider, which is the price. Now, at the launch, Ather told us that the Rista range will start at 1,10,000, go to 1,25,000 for the variant we're trying today, and 1,45,000 for the top spec Rista Z 3.7. But what Ather conveniently left out of the conversation was the cost of the Pro Pack. So once you've added that in, that means that your 2.9 kWh variants are more expensive by another 15,000 rupees, and the top spec variant is pricier by another 20,000 rupees, which means that the gap in prices of the Rista and the 450X are not that big, and there are certain things which the 450X clearly does better. More importantly, there are other established family electric scooters already on the market, and the choices within those families are expanding. We recently saw TVS add new variants to the iQube range, the iQube ST, and that has a 7-inch touchscreen, and it is priced roughly in the same ballpark as the Rista. So the Rista has its task cut out. It does have its likable qualities, but this one will be a fight for the ages. We can't wait to compare this to its direct rivals, but let us know what you think of the Ather Rizta. What are the features that stood out to you? What are the traits of the Rizta that you enjoyed the most? If there are certain things that are missing from the scooter which you would have liked to see? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section. If you enjoyed watching this video and found it informative, then please make sure to like it. And if you know somebody who would be interested in the Rista, then please remember to share this video with them.